Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to the annual Triforce Awards. This is the 2016 edition. Of course, I am Sexiest Man on Off at Wrestling Radio. Boom Boom here, shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Of course, I'm joined by the Bald Bull himself, Sammy Sinister. And of course, we're joined by, he is the Beta Brit to our American Alpha, talking about LK. What's up, buddy?
How long did you think about that one? Because that was pretty brutal.
I did not understand a word that just came out of your mouth apart from American Alpha.
He essentially said USA, USA, without having to say
that's typical. Oh, Americans are the most stuck-up, snob, just bunch of assholes I've ever met in my entire life. It's
what we did on the 4th of July. Did I ever tell you what we did?
Yeah.
We got really, really drunk and then set a British flag on fire and sang the national anthem.
Dude, you fucking asshole. Dude, I'll do that on the 4th. I'll do that on the 4th of July. I'll go out here, I'll fucking burn the American flag. Imagine that. I'll do that live on air with you next to me.
I mean, I wouldn't give a shit. In my defense, I was super drunk. And it wasn't like I have anything against England. It was an ex-girlfriend's English or British flag. And I was like, fuck that bitch. Let's get rid of this thing in style and then be America. But we're not here to talk about America. We're going to talk about some fucking wrestling awards that we have painstakingly spent time coming up with.
Yeah, I know this is actually tougher than what you may think it is. This is something with KocoSports we've been doing annually. We come up with a list of categories here, and myself, LK, Sammy, we all write down who we think should win this award, and we don't tell each other who we pick. We try to see if it matches up because we've all got a piece of the Triforce here. We're going to see if anybody. I'm going to be surprised if we can match up on anything. If anybody can collect all three pieces of the Triforce, so to speak. So I guess without further ado, and this is over the 2016 year, and we're just going to lay it all out here. So guys, you know what? Let's do that. You want to do this in no particular order here?
No particular order, but I say let's do the worst awards first. So who got the worst of this, and then work our way up to the top award, which I would say is Wrestler of the Year.
Okay, so we're going to start with the worst. Okay, this is what Dave and I dubbed the Russo Award. This is for the absolute worst storyline.
The Viagra on a Stick Award.
Yeah, worst angle, worst segment, worst anything. So, and again, this is for the worst. This is like cringeworthy stuff. So, what do you think? So, okay, let's start with you. What do you think the crappiest, worst angle, segment, whatever, of 2016 was altogether?
The worst story, the worst part of 2016 was Zack Ryder's Intercontinental Championship run.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
It wasn't even a full 24 hours, man.
I do not care. It was an angle. It was shot as an angle. It was a story to try and get him over. Thank the Triforce gods we aren't coming up here and saying breakout star of the year, Zack Ryder. Thankfully, that's not happening. The guy's a sack of shit. He's an imbecile. He's a fucking cunt. And I'm glad that piece of shit isn't fucking on. If the Hype Brothers were fucking still around, they would have won the tag titles tonight because the American Alpha defeated the fucking Wyatt family. And I nearly had a fucking heart attack.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, I apologize. I apologize, everyone. I just assumed everyone watched SmackDown.
It's not a big deal. If they're watching this, I assume that they've seen it.
I do apologize. Sorry. The night is dark and full of spoilers. Sorry.
All right, Sammy, who gets your Russo Award?
The Russo Award to me goes not because I think there might have been goofier stories told, but to me, the one that had the least amount of thought and most amount of effort put into it, just to all fall apart in the end, was the Shane McMahon Undertaker story. It made no sense. There was no reason for that match to exist, and the story that led up to it, we literally had a red herring because we never knew what it was that Shane and Vince knew that Stephanie didn't. That has literally never been brought up again. And literally at the end of the story was none of it fucking mattered.
Wow.
There's no reason for it to exist.
I hope somebody's writing this down, by the way.
I've got all my stuff written down. Fuck y'all.
Okay.
I got my stuff.
I got mine written down. Okay. My Russo award goes to, this was a segment. This was actually something that just made me physically wince. I'm just like, oh, this is just horrible. I had to change the channel. I flipped back like a few minutes and it was still going on. It just kept going. It was just physically painful to watch. I don't know if you remember this or not, but this happened on Raw. It was the old day segment.
Ooh, that was bad. That was real bad.
Where the club brought out like the impersonators. They were saying it's the old day.
And I love the club so much.
It went for like 15, 20. It's still going on right now in my mind.
Jesus Christ.
I was like,
that was nearly as bad as Zack Ryder winning in front of 100,000 people a prestigious belt.
No, I think I have to agree with fucking Booms on this one. Like the Taker Shane story was completely idiotic because how much effort they put into it. That shit was bad. Fuck that old day segment. And I love the club so much, but god damn was that painful.
Right, so I had my funny one of Zack. Can I give my actual one? Okay, so that was a joke. Okay, that was actually a joke. My actual.
If you would have said that was serious, we wouldn't have batted a fucking eye.
I know. I just wanted to get that in there. My actual worst storyline. That was my worst part of the year. That's not a story. It's a fucking 24-hour tirade isn't a story. My worst story and angle was Triple H versus Roman Reigns. I thought it did nothing for any of them. It could go down as one of the most uneventful piss take of a main event of WrestleMania. And the thing is, when we look back in like 10 years, that was the biggest WrestleMania of all time. What was the main event? Triple H versus Reigns. Was it good? No. It was bad. It did nothing for Reigns. It did nothing for Triple H. They wasted the Royal Rumble on it, and I was not a fan of it and a waste of time.
You know, I don't know if I actually put this down as a category, but I'm going to bring up this question. Do you think WrestleMania 32 was the worst WrestleMania?
Not even close. No.
Watch WrestleMania 11 and 9 and tell me that was worse.
As much as people want to shit on 32, I still had a lot of fun watching it. I had a lot of fun. Mind you, I had a bunch of people over, but it was still a fun spectacle. It was the first one that I think people realize, even though they've been doing it for several years now, it really is the showcase of the Immortals. It is a fucking spectacle, even if everything that happens there isn't the greatest.
All right. Now let's go to worst wrestler. Sammy, I'm going to start with you. I'm anxious to hear this.
I don't think this should be disputed because there's only two answers, and I think me and LK are going to have both of them. And both of them are acceptable because they're both fucking terrible. But my worst wrestler of the year, the person that just needs to be put in a closet and then forgotten that he's there, is Mojo fucking Rawley.
Okay.
Again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. He is to wrestling what pepper spray is to the eyes. Just cancer.
Okay.
Do I need to say who I think the worst of the year is?
I'm so glad we're getting this out of the way.
Dude. Oh, it's I mean the word, yeah, he isn't, I may shit on him, but he's not the worst wrestler, of the year.
No,
he
Rawley
really isn't the worst. I was thinking Mojo Rawley, but then I was thinking I don't know, it was difficult because it was Zack Ryder or fucking Mark. I fucking hate Mark Henry so much. Like,
he's wrestled like 3 times this year.
I can't help it. No. It is Zack Ryder. I tried to pull it off. I can't. It's Zack Ryder. Okay, his offense is woo, running big boot and a Rough Rider. What is it? He does that thing with his hands where he says to everyone he's a loser. Fucking Rough Rider. Fucking hell. Yeah, it's Zack Ryder. I couldn't think of anyone worse apart from Mojo Rawley, but I can't have yours.
My worst wrestler of the year, this should come in no shock if you've been following like my SmackDown reviews. I picked Baron Corbin.
Really?
Dude.
I cannot stand Baron Corbin.
Really?
Because, here's why. I feel like he got called up from NXT prematurely, and he cannot wrestle more than a 5-minute. Okay, if he wrestles like a 60-second squash match, he's fine. He's great. But if you ask him to wrestle anything over 5 minutes that's not a tag team match, he's completely gassed. I mean, he just doesn't look like he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. In fact, I think the only reason he's on the main roster is because Vince McMahon saw his photo and started masturbating to it. That's the only reason he's up there. I cannot stand the guy. I don't think he's that great.
I really like him.
I think he's completely overrated. Completely overrated.
But he's not doing it well. Well, that's a different discussion for a different day.
Mm.
All right, but any more worst you want to talk about? Because I want to move on to something a little bit more.
We have a. You said in the list a what the fuck awards, like what the fuck happened to this guy award you had on the list you sent me anyway.
That's a little bit different. It's not necessarily a worst award, but we
might as well go ahead and do that and be a transition thing to all the good.
The transition here is the WTF award is basically it's for the career that just fell apart. Like they started off strong at the beginning of the year, but by the end of the year, it's like their career for whatever reason was in total shambles. So, LK, I'm anxious to see what you have. What do you have for WTF award?
When I say mine, a light bulb is going to ping in your head. It's literally going to ping. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Go for it.
Wade Barrett.
Oh, Wade Barrett. Okay.
I was never a fan.
Yeah, but what, like he went from League of Legends. That's a fucking computer game. He went from League of Nations. That's how memorable they are. You know, being involved in the Mania with Michaels, Austin, Foley, New Day, to now being unemployed and sat on his ass in Preston, watching Preston North End play football.
I mean, you're right. I mean, it's a completely fucking wasted potential. What about you, Booms? I'll go last this time.
Well, here's what it was going to be. Until tonight, and again, this is spoilers, until tonight, I had picked American Alpha. But they walked away tonight, as of this recording, with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So that immediately crossed them off my list. I started racking my brains immediately because I was like, well, what's my second place? And it's not necessarily a person, and I hope people don't think this is cheating, but my WTF award goes to, and again, I hope you don't consider this cheating, but I give it to Ring of Honor.
To who?
Really?
To Ring of Honor. To Ring of Honor.
In what regard?
Dude, you didn't watch Final Battle, I'm guessing.
Yes, I did watch Final Battle. They kind of saved themselves a little bit, but they started out okay in 2016, and they went on a steady decline until like the absolute very end. I thought everything was looking on the up and up because they went into that deal with New Japan. They had pretty much all their guys' job out to the New Japan guys, at least here in the United States. They kept losing people, person after person after person. I mean, they lost Moose. They lost ACH. They lost Cedric Alexander.
Where'd ACH go?
ACH, well, he's done with the company. What's her name? The manager with the House of Truth. Shit. No, not her. Veda Scott. She's gone. Who else?
Roderick Strong.
Yeah, Strong left. Bennett left. I mean, they were losing people.
Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, I already said Cedric Alexander, but yeah, Mike Bennett left. Maria Kanellis left. I don't think they were.
It was more like Maria Kanellis left.
Okay. But no, they just kept hemorrhaging. Now, I will agree that Final Battle was good. I mean, and here's another problem though. Their television show is completely irrelevant.
And that's their biggest issue. Their television show. And I loved Final Battle, and I think their pay-per-views are still arguably some of the most fun pay-per-views to watch, but their television show's shit. It's absolute shit. And expect them to now, until Ring of Honor is no more, to hemorrhage talent like crazy. That's why I think they need to get a legitimate deal with several of the European, or specifically British,
well, here's the thing.
Promotions to stay afloat.
All the deals they want, but they need to put relevant content on there. Because here's the thing. It's like if you follow Ring of Honor on Facebook like I do, they'll have like all these, posts on there, and it's spoiling, stuff that hasn't even happened on their own TV show. It's like, I understand you want people to buy tickets and go, but here's the thing. I'm living in Virginia. You live in Alabama. You live in the UK. If they're doing a show in Poughkeepsie, Illinois, there's no way we can get there, and there's no way we.
And that's what drives me insane about their TV shows. Their TV show is literally just matches, and then all of their storytelling comes from shit they filmed at other house shows.
You know, I don't
think that's not how you tell a story. People want to shit on WWE storytelling, but ROH storytelling is 1,000 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you could keep up with Ring of Honor is if you bought every single house show, which is $12 a piece. If you bought every single one of those shows, you wouldn't even need to watch the TV program because you would be so up to date with the stories.
Yeah, so I think that's I think that's a fair answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the honest answer, but let's face it, no one pretty much can afford $24 a pop for a fucking Ring of Honor house show. Imagine they do 5 a month. That's over $125 you just spent on a fucking house show. You could have gone there. You could have flown over there for the fucking cheaper price than that.
Yeah, they've really got to rethink some things and really got to get New Japan to fucking start carrying them on the network. If they start doing their weekly show on New Japan World, I have no reason to not get New Japan or Flow or Slam, whatever the fuck it's called. But no, I think that's a fair answer. I don't know if I necessarily agree because I still really like what
I like them too. I like them too. I think they're a great promotion. I just think they've just been on the decline. They're going to have to get some more stability.
No. Okay. Now for my answer, and this one was painful for me. Because this was legit one of my favorites, and they've done nothing. And that is the Vaudevillains.
Oh man, yeah.
I thought you were going to say Apollo Crews. I thought you were going to say Apollo Crews.
It could have been. I'm amazed neither one of y'all said so. The reason I say Vaudevillains over Apollo Crews is just because they had gold in NXT, and then the second they lost, it's like they lost the gold before they ever all lost it. And then it was just fucking squash matches, and they got up to the main event, or main roster, and they were in a tag team, a big spotlight tag team match, and then Enzo got hurt, and they've just been fucked ever since. And that was legitimately my favorite tag team. And then my other tag team only lasted like 3 fucking matches, and I was infuriated because Dalton Castle and fucking Colt Cabana could have been the greatest tag team of all time, but no, we had to put the fucking gold on the Young Bucks again.
You know, Kevin Eric Snell is asking over in the chat room. He's asking, what was your worst match of the year? Because he says, remember the Shelly Martinez versus Rebel match was 2016. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Dude,
I don't know.
I swear to God, that is literally one of the worst fucking literally, yeah. She went for a tope suicida, so a suicide dive, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So she goes, she runs, she stops, she then literally starts climbing out of the ring, and then just face plants on the floor, like legit live on pay-per-view. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. TNA, of course. TNA, of course. It was I
wasn't watching TNA at the time, so I haven't seen it.
Right now. Well, not right now. Wait till this show's finished. Your homework is buy the next live show to watch Shelly Martinez versus Rebel from TNA One Night Only 2016. It'll fucking crack you up.
Fair. Cool. All right, Booms, take us into the best. But let's save female and male best wrestler of the year.
I'll say that. Let's get some more of these other awards out of the way here real quick. Okay, I'm just going to get this one out of the way. Again, we're going in no particular order here. Rookie of the year. Now this
one was fucking.
This was tough. This was tough.
Dude, this was rough.
But this goes to the wrestler who made this year was their first year on the national scene. This was tough. You want me to go first because
you go first. I've got an answer, and I think that's gonna be a really unpopular answer. But Booms, you send us into this one.
For me, it was only one clear choice.
Really?
I picked Leo Rush from Ring of Honor.
That was going to be one for me. That's not who I picked, but that was my runner-up.
He debuted. He won the New Prospects tournament in January. He had a hell of a match against Jay Lethal at All-Star Extravaganza. He did some work with Evolve. He was in the mix for that 6-man championship tournament that they had at ROH. He's still with the company. So to me, I feel like he shined the brightest of all the new guys. So I gave it to Leo Rush.
Okay. Fair answer. Completely fair answer. Okay, you take the next one.
I have Evolve's Matt Riddle.
I have heard, I haven't got to see him yet, but everyone's saying that Matt Riddle is the tits.
Yeah, he's like a big version of Zack Sabre Jr. A much bigger, more character-driven version of Zack Sabre Jr. Much more driven. Every week, every Evolve weekend, he always has a brilliant match. Last night, I watched IPW. It was him versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Is he British?
Blew my mind away. Zack Sabre Jr. is Matt Riddle's not.
Well,
He's American.
okay.
He's a former UFC fighter. And he was green as goose shit this time last year, and I was coming on this show and burying his ass, saying he's a scumbag, saying he shouldn't be in a shouldn't be in a Evolve ring, shouldn't be in any ring, and now he's fucking my rookie of the year. So good job, Matt Riddle, my son. Good job.
This was a super tough one for me because I really wanted to pick Lio Rush, but I really expected one of y'all to pick Lio Rush. This is going to be a really unpopular answer, but somebody that I've enjoyed to seeing every time they're on TV. I've seen them improve. I see a lot more improvement for them, and I see somebody that can be a big star and somebody that can take the shoes of the person that came before him, and there's a very clear person that came before him. I picked Braun Strowman.
Sorry.
I like him. I like seeing him work. He's improved vastly. And I know he's been around for a little while because he was with the Wyatt family. This is his first year on his own, which is why I picked him. And I can genuinely, this is somebody that's going to be around for a while, and then he'll have a lot of influence, and I like him.
When we look back on this award, and this man's unemployed, I told you so. This is the very video, okay, where I tell you in 2 years' time, maybe 5, this man will be unemployed.
Well, 5 years, you can almost say anybody besides John Cena is going to be unemployed.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't see this guy as anything. You know, who knows? Who knows? I'll give him a bit more time. But that's a fair pick. It's a fair pick. It could have been worse.
I do see more improvement for him. I think he's going to improve further, especially this feud with Sami Zayn is very specifically entailed to build him up. But the guy's only been wrestling for like a few years. And mind you, his size is one of his biggest things, but he's learned how to use his size appropriately. And that's what I like, is he doesn't work your typical WWE big man style. He works a strong man style, which I really enjoy. He does it very, very well, and I can see more coming out of him. Apparently, he can do a kip up, by the way, which is horrifying. That's essentially like a fucking 67 Chevy just decided to go from its back up to its wheels.
All right, next we're going to do Best Announcer. And of course, this
easy.
Is best
I think this should be
commentary.
pretty. This might be the only one we're synonymous on.
If you don't say the words that come out of your mouth next, I'm literally going to kick you from the call.
I'll take this one first. Y'all have been to this one. To me, this was an absolute no-brainer. It was just weird because y'all have heard me sing the absolute praises of another duo, and it's clear who that duo is because I absolutely love that duo. But I think the only clear answer here is Mauro Ranallo.
Yes, good man. You ain't getting muted or kicked.
Okay, he gets the Triforce.
He gets the Triforce.
I love Matt Stryker and Vampiro. I adore them. I think they are perfect for that show, and they feed off each other so good. But I would watch Mauro Ranallo fucking commentate me drinking a cup of coffee. He is that fucking good, and you can tell that he's fucking interested in what he's watching, and he's excited, and he's the best. He's the fucking best. Anybody that have him is on top of the world.
Nice.
Unpopular opinion, like him more than I like fucking JR.
Congratulations to Marvin Owens. He's the first person to get the Triforce to full because he won all 3 of us over. And by the way, I should mention that we did not look at each other's list. I just said here's what the categories are.
Clearly, we haven't looked at each other's list.
Yeah. Best TV show.
This
easy.
To me should be a fucking brainer.
Easy.
I won't go. LK, you take this one first because I think this one's a no-brainer.
Lucha Underground.
It's Lucha fucking Underground.
Everyone who says it's not Lucha Underground does not watch it. And they don't have the right to talk about it. Because they need to go out of your way. Your New Year's resolution right now watching this is to watch Lucha Underground. You go back to season 1, you book time off work, paid holiday, and you sit there and go through season 1, 2, and 3 of Lucha Underground.
And you will love yourself. And it will be some of the most fantastic. We don't need to get into a Sammy, you need to watch this mode because we're going to save that for when we get back to the CWC because I don't think I'll ever top myself on that one because it was fucking flawless. But do yourself a goddamn favor. Watch Lucha Underground because it isn't a wrestling show that's on TV. It's a fucking TV show. God damn it. I don't care what your answer is, Booms. It's fucking Lucha Underground.
It is. It's amazing.
Well, no, really, what are you going to pick? I don't know.
You're probably going to hate me, but I picked the CWC.
Oh, dude, you just fucking low blow. That's right in the fucking cock.
Okay,
we could have given the Triforce Awards to Lucha Instead, it went.
I don't think your answer is wrong. I think that's a really good choice. I fucking loved the CWC. But goddamn it, Lucha Underground was fucking
the
good.
reason why I put it up there so high is because when I started, but believe me, Lucha Underground was completely on the list. I think it was that and NXT was on there. But then I started thinking, because if you remember correctly, LK, we gave the finals a perfect.
Yeah.
We did.
And to me, that's what really pushed it over. Because me, it was kind of neck and neck. And I was like, well, season 2 with Lucha Underground kind of struggled in the beginning because they remember Dario hadn't come back yet from hiding out. And to me, it was a little shaky. But when he came back, it's like everything came together for the show. And I was like, well, maybe that was kind of a fault, but it did turn out to be a decent season. And then, but I was like, the CWC was pretty solid all tournament long, and we gave the final show a perfect. And I was like, to me, that's like, it just kind of gave it that last little kick to kind of get it, just inch it up above Lucha Underground. So that's why I gave it to CWC.
Well, there goes our future guests. I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't think I put this down as a category, but anybody want to say what they thought the best pay-per-view of the year was?
Oh, no, we did have best pay-per-view, and I have my answer. And it might, kind of like your Ring of Honor answer, mine might be cheating.
Okay.
But, so I'll go last. Y'all tell me what y'all's are first.
Booms, you go first. Jump in first, Jet.
Okay, my pay-per-view of the year was a no-brainer. It was Wrestle Kingdom 10. And here's why. Yeah, they had some solid action throughout the show. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed that. Even the pre-show stuff I even enjoyed. I even enjoyed seeing the great Kabuki drag his 90-year-old ass in there for the New Japan Rumble. That was cool. I like the 4-way for the junior weight tag team championships. I like the junior weight match between Kushida and Kenny Omega. But the 3 last matches, I remember that. It was before you joined up, Sammy. It was me, LK, and Dave. And we all talked about, well, what do you think the match was? And we all came up with 3 different matches. There was the Shibata versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Amazing.
There was the AJ Styles versus Nakamura.
Great.
And then there was, even though it's happened 100 times, it was still good. It was Tanahashi versus Okada.
That might be one of the best matches I've ever seen.
And we all debated, no, this one was better. And I realized all 3 of these matches in a row were arguably 5-star matches.
The only people who, again, like Lucha Underground, minus the CWC, which was a good response. I didn't even think of the CWC. But the only people who won't be giving Wrestle Kingdom 10 the pay-per-view of the year are the people who, quite frankly, didn't watch it.
I didn't give it pay-per-view of the year.
You didn't, but you didn't. Did you know the build-up? Did you follow the build-up and the build-up and the stories behind? See, that's a bit different.
And even if you don't, it's an amazing pay-per-view, and arguably was almost what I wrote down on paper. But I picked one other, and again, this might be a cheating answer, but I'm still going to pick it because you have to pay to watch it. I picked Battle of Los Angeles 2016. It's some of the most fun I've ever had watching wrestling.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There were some 5-star matches in that.
If you haven't watched it, it's fucking amazing. It's amazing.
We need to cover PWG a lot more.
It's hard to. It's hard. You got to buy the DVDs, and then you got to wait forever to get them. It's fucking tough. I would love to cover PWG more. God, do yourself a favor, and I don't like a lot of PWG fans because they are really fucking hipstery about it and really like, oh, it's the best wrestling in the world, and if nothing else collision, you'll never go. It's don't get me wrong. I'm giving it pay-per-view of the year. It's totally worth watching for no other reason than the Phoenix Pentagon Jr. versus Young Bucks match. I adore it. It's fucking amazing. And that was the first time I saw Marty Scurll, who I almost wanted to give Rookie of the Year to, but I wasn't sure how long he's been around.
He cannot be Rookie of the Year.
On the national scene.
No,
because I saw him on Ring of Honor for the first time this year.
He was on. He was in TNA back in 2011 or 12.
Oh, fuck him then. Whatever.
He's
fucking great.
He was on a reality TV show called British Boot Camp with Rockstar Spud, or Spud of the Rockstars, as Broken Matt Hardy would call it.
Okay. Well, yeah, and to be fair, it was under a different gimmick. So if you're like, well, I haven't seen this because it was under a totally different gimmick, totally different looks.
And the villain gimmick is fucking big time. And I bring it up, spoilers, if you haven't watched Bola yet, he's the one that wins Battle of Los Angeles. But it's like 45 fucking hours long. It's 3 DVDs, but do yourself a favor, watch Battle of Los Angeles 2016.
Next here, let's see. I'm trying to look here. Let's do comeback of the year. This is
easy.
I think this shouldn't be.
To
me, it was obvious.
This is the exact opposite of the WTF award. This is the career that started out. It was just bad. It's just like, okay, we should ignore this guy. He doesn't even appear as a blip on our radar. But by the end of the year, he's completely resurrected his career. So, eeny, meeny, miny, Sammy, go.
I go first.
Yeah.
I think there's actually 2 clear answers to these, and I think both of them are completely fair. I'm probably going to pick the less popular of the 2. I have a feeling I know who LK is going to pick, but it's Goldberg. Goldberg went from nobody to on top of the fucking world.
That's not who I've picked.
I know it's not who and I have a very good. I think I know who you picked.
Who do you think?
And it's completely legitimate if it's who I think it is.
Who do you think I picked?
No, you tell me and I'll tell you.
That doesn't count. Come on, who do you think I picked?
I'm fairly certain you probably picked Matt Hardy.
I picked Matt Hardy.
And that is completely fucking fair.
I swear, look, literally, Sammy, my first one, obviously I don't want to give too much away, so if I cover the rest of it up, I actually crossed out, let's get it, was Goldberg. Was fucking Goldberg. I crossed out Goldberg, I then had The Miz, because he did great this year, crossed him out, and it was Matt Hardy.
I put down Matt Hardy, crossed out, put in Goldberg.
Oh, it's just the way of the world,
and
isn't it?
I think both are fantastic answers, and either one of them are wrong. But then we'll get the wrong answer from Boom Boom. So what'd you pick?
Mine was pretty easy. I picked Cedric Alexander.
How so?
Well, he went from Ring of Honor to doing next to nothing. I remember he was like a bad guy. He was with Veda Scott. He was the guy who scored the first upset on Moose. They had that big finale with the ladders. And then he just he was really doing anything, period. Then he left Ring of Honor. He popped up at Evolve, and I think he did like a couple of matches. And then he got the opportunity. He had to lose like 20, 30 pounds, but he joined the Cruiserweight Classic, goes in there, has that just fucking epic match with Ibushi. And the whole crowd was chanting, "Please sign Cedric." And they were clapping, and Triple H basically comes out there and says, "Okay." And he's now with Centerpiece with 205 Live. I mean, he completely turned everything around. I cannot believe Ring of Honor dropped the ball with this guy.
Yeah, but they do that a lot. Like if you notice, Ring of Honor doesn't really build any stars. They just
they show how good a talent is. Then somebody else goes, "Oh shit! Look how talented that guy that's being wasted is."
Mm-hmm.
Like look at ACH wasted, Cedric Alexander wasted.
Where is
Donovan
ACH
Dijak doing
working
nothing.
now?
He's doing. I think I remember him doing a Noah tour. He was doing a pro.
He's been doing like the Indies gig. He's just no longer with Ring of Honor. I think he's just
probably
doing
for the best. To be honest, it's probably for the best because there's always going to be another high flyer, and with them getting Will Ospreay, there's kind of no need for ACH.
True.
Okay. Next here we're going to go Shocker of the Year. This is the thing that caught you whatever caught you the most by surprise. Okay, start with you.
I was torn between 2, and the one I went for, I might look back on and regret, but the one I picked was for pure mark out reasons, for pure feeling like a 10-year-old having his first rock up. Generally, Shane McMahon returning on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, that's a shock.
February the 22nd. Unbelievable! I will never forget that as long as I live. I legit I jumped up to the point where the desk just went boom. It shot up, and it was fucking unbelievable. It was insane. It was brilliant. If you are new to wrestling and 2016 was your first year, or you started halfway through the year, go back and just fuck it. If you watched pro wrestling for 75 years, go back and rewatch that moment. Turn the volume up to 100 in your headphones. Listen to that crowd. Holy fucking shit.
No, I think that's fair. I didn't honestly consider that. What about you, Booms? What you got?
Me, Daniel Bryan's retirement. Because remember, he had been meeting with all these doctors. He was trying to get cleared. He was going after specialist to specialist. And finally, he just said, "Okay, I got an announcement." He goes out and he retires. And you kind of saw it coming, but it was just a shock to know that, there was going to be no comeback. Sadly, there was going to be no comeback. There was going to be no happy ending. He's going to have to hang it up. Now, will he stay retired once his contract with WWE expires? I don't know. But to me, I was just kind of shocked, that here's reality, crashing in like a ton of bricks.
Fair. I had to pick between two. And I eventually had to go with the one that made me eat my words more. And y'all were talking to me during this whole thing. Both of y'all heard me say this a thousand times. Goldberg squashing Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
anybody that said they saw that coming was absolutely lying.
Yeah.
Because I told y'all for fucking a month that it's going to be suplex, spear, maybe a jackhammer, suplex, X5 over. And I bet you I told y'all that 100 times.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so when it didn't happen, it really... About what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you said that nearly as much as Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar WrestleMania 33.
Maybe not quite as much, but it was really close. But y'all have no fucking idea how much I want to see Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. But only the way that I tell it, because else it's wrong. Yeah. And if you haven't heard me tell it, go back and watch any fucking video. Just pick one. I'm probably talking about it in there. And then watch how I describe the Brock Lesnar fucking Samoa Joe match, because it's perfect. You won't make it better than I have made it. And I'll be very, very fucking conceited and egotistical about that. But the one that made me eat my own word is that anybody, even if there was a rematch, they would have gone about it a different way. Him squashing him in like a minute and something fucking blew my mind.
Booms?
Say again, I could barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What was your question? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, we didn't say anything. We're just going on to the next one.
Oh, sorry. The next category. Sorry, there. Something went out there for a second. Like somebody froze up. My apologies.
It's all right. We just all hate you now.
Oh, okay.
Vince's fault.
Now.
Can our next T-shirt be a "We Hate Boom Booms" T-shirt?
No, that's mean. That's mean.
It's mean. I mean, he's my big brother, and I love him, but it would be funny.
We'll have a "We Hate Vince" shirt.
Next,
we hate Zack Ryder.
There you go. This one here is most improved. Of course, this is self-explanatory. Who is the performer who just magically got better over the course of the 2016?
This one was super easy for me. It was as soon as we came up with the category, I already had somebody in mind, and that was Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss, okay.
Cool. Alexa Bliss went from somebody that was shit at the beginning of this year and with a know-nothing tag team doing nothing to somebody that I believe is a main event ladies heel that deserves to have the belt and is good on the mic and can tell a good story in the ring. And she still has room to improve. Kudos. She is legitimately one of my favorites now. Kudos, Miss Bliss. You have made a believer of me.
Okay.
What more can I say? It's just identical to what Sammy said. It's just, you told me this time last year that she would have been the fucking breakout star of the year. I would have laughed and spat in your face. Like, generally, like, delete. Like, fucking block island. And, like, just fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It is possible to get great at their jobs. They just have to put the work in. She's put the work in.
I think she cares about her job and she wants to get better, and that shows.
Yeah, and watch the Becky Lynch versus Bliss match on SmackDown if you haven't already. No spoilers from me.
Me, I hate to say this, guys, but I went with a different route.
God damn it.
I know.
Fucking shit up,
all right. I went with The Miz.
Totally fair answer.
Yep, that's fair.
Okay, he wins the Intercontinental Championship the day after Mania. He's always ever since then, he's been in some kind of main event program with that championship, either competing for it or defending it. I think the draft over to SmackDown really helped him in his career. And then he just kept adding on to it. He brought his wife back to Maurice. They brought her back to WWE. That escalated. And he's even escalating even further because he's got this current program where he drug Renee Young and her sex life into this feud with Dean Ambrose. And it's just like, wow, where the hell has this guy been? You know, so I feel like he was the most improved for 2016.
That's fair. That's a completely fair answer.
Let's see here. I'm trying to save some stuff here for last. Let's get
female. We'll save those two for the
let's
end.
Save that
we'll save those two for the end because those are the big daddy ones.
Let's do okay, best storyline of the year.
My answer's cheating. I'll just go ahead and admit it. I won't go first. My answer's a complete fucking cop out.
Okay.
Go on then.
It's just Lucha Underground. Just the entirety of Lucha Underground is the best wrestling story that exists.
The world.
Just the world that they've created. And like, mind you, they have some individual stories in there that are fucking mind-blowingly great. But just the identity of Lucha Underground is the best story told in a wrestling ring.
I loved Pentagon Dark versus the Black Lotus Triad. Okay, that story was fucking it was so good. They spent 1 hour, a full episode on that. That was amazing. I'm going to give that my story. Even though it was only one show, heck, I gave fucking worst story to Zack Ryder winning the IC title. And that was only 24 hours.
I think I'm kind of in agreement here, but it is Lucha Underground. Okay, he's probably going to hate it, but I gave it to Sexy Star. Sexy Star versus the Martinez family because, remember, she was kidnapped.
Story.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was a great story, yeah.
Remember, she was kidnapped like at the end of season 1, so she gets tormented. She breaks free. It's season 2. She gets tormented by the Martinez family. Then she gets her revenge. She beats Mariposa in that No Mas match that was fucking amazing, very emotional. Defeats Mario the Martinez and goes on eventually, in this season to capture the Lucha Underground Championship, albeit for a week, but have it. And I was just like,
Jim Ross.
And I was just like, wow, this. So I think that was like the best storyline of 2016.
It was a damn good story. Again, mine was a cop out because I couldn't pick just one.
All right, now we're gonna go to feud of the year.
Oh, yes, mine is going to be so... There's not even a person expecting mine ever.
Go first. What you got?
Zack Ryder versus LK.
No, because that's the best feud of the fucking eternity.
LK versus Raw.
No, the Raw beats me every week. That feud's got to end
for this eventually to get best.
Dude, I didn't watch Raw last night.
If it's still going on.
I won. I didn't watch Raw last night. I won.
Or did Raw win?
The best feud for me, okay, mine's a bit different. Like my best match, like my match of the year, my best feud of the year, were where I was there live, so it kind of meant something. My best feud.
Oh, I think I know what you're doing.
My best feud was Vader versus Will Ospreay.
Oh yeah, that.
Wow.
That was the most electric atmosphere I've ever felt in my life. I've been to WWE shows, TNA shows. What was that?
And then Pete Dunne fucked it up.
Were you at that match?
I was there.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I wasn't allowed to put videos up because obviously we'd get copyright struck by it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't put anything up, and I did it. I did a review on it. It was in October.
I may not.
And
I don't know.
I posted a picture today on Facebook because when we were reading, I was going through the list. I saw it, and I thought, oh fuck, I'll post a picture. There was a picture of my match of the year on there. On my Facebook if you want to give it a look. But that being said, the build was amazing. You could just feel something special in the air when Vader came out. Fuck you, Vader, you fat cunt, you fat cunt. Ospreay came out. It was just absolutely brilliant. The story they told was out of this world, and I recommend everyone to watch that match.
Can you watch it?
I found it online. You can check it out. Let me ask you this. How did you feel about Pete Dunne completely just fucking up the ending?
No, because it got him over, didn't it? Like I understand why they did it. Like they wanted to get someone over with Vader because now he's seen as a main event guy now. Like he's the Progress World Champion now after that rub from Vader.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a major fuck you, wasn't it? And it started a program with Pete Dunne and Ricochet, so it made sense. Right. It really helped Pete Dunne.
What's your pick, Sammy?
Mine is, again, I'm not eating my words. I just got to back up my words. And this one to me was a complete clarity because these two people I've told you over and over that I'll just go ahead and say it. Mil Muertes and Prince Puma. Because it's eternal. It's amazing. They can wrestle forever, and I wouldn't mind. And I made the point that they are to WWE what Rock Austin were to WWE, what Sting Hogan was to WCW. It is any of those. They are that eternal feud that, like, when you look at wrestling feuds, Dusty and Ric Flair, any of those guys, it's just what you think about, and you know that they're eternal enemies. They're going to put on a great match. They're going to entertain you, and it's one of the things that defines the promotion that they are a part of.
Booms?
That's a good pick. My pick was Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole.
It's a good one.
I think you can't go wrong with it.
It started out the year. Remember, it looked like Adam Cole was going to completely get thrown out of the kingdom. It looked like they were putting back together, not Generation Next, Future Shock. And then when it looked like Kyle O'Reilly was about to win the Ring of Honor World Championship, Adam Cole turns on him. They had a brutal grudge match at All-Star Extravaganza that Steve Corino and Kevin Kelly sold it. I mean, they destroyed each other. There was blood in there. It ended with Kyle O'Reilly wrapping a chain around Cole's neck and locking in an arm bar. Eventually, the referee had to stop the match. But it didn't end there. Adam Cole came back to get his revenge, screwed O'Reilly out of the championship again. Remember, and joined the Bullet Club. Bullet Club was tormenting Cole, and eventually, final battle, Kyle O'Reilly finally wins the big one, and he beats Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor World Championship. The whole feud went pretty much the entire span of 2016. Had some good matches, had some good segments. I mean, these two tore each other apart. So I got to give them props for that. I think that was the feud of the year.
I almost debated on giving to that. The only reason I didn't is because I did not like their final match.
Yeah, it was good. I just thought the crowd were just a bit like, it didn't feel like his winning moment.
It didn't feel like a winning moment, and I just don't like death matches.
Dude, I hate death matches. There was a death match on the IPW show I watched yesterday with Jimmy Havoc and Sammy Smooth, whatever the fuck his name is.
Sorry to interrupt real quick, just want to know, is Jimmy Havoc legit, or is he just a death match monkey?
That's tough. Because
I know he was Progress champion.
Yeah, he's kind of like in the middle, but this was an I Quit match. But the story they told, fuck me, was unreal. He legit got Smooth, whatever his name, Sam Smooth, girlfriend in, and he was going to put her in thumbtacks. He was literally about to stump her in thumbtacks. So obviously, Smooth's I quit. He then picks the girl up, and then boom, swerve. She turns around and starts making out with Havoc, and it's like, oh, you sick motherfucker. And literally, Havoc got pinned. You know, normally they get the tacks, and they get slammed on like 50 of them.
Yeah.
By one pin. Pin to the head. And he just got a bunch of pins, stuffed it in his mouth, boom, big jab to the jaw. Oh, it was brutal.
Oh.
Because I've been wondering about Jimmy Havoc, if he was legit or if he is just a death monkey or a death match monkey.
I don't know. Well, if he's more in IPW, then I'll tell you in the coming months.
Okay. All right. Next is Breakout Star of the Year. This just means this 2016 was just their year.
Oh, I thought we already did this.
No, that was comeback of the year.
Yeah, comeback.
We had comeback of the year, which was Matt Hardy, rookie of the year, and then we just did breakout, which was Alexa Bliss. I gave Alexa
that was
Bliss
most improved.
Most improved.
Oh.
We'll let you go last.
Yeah, we'll let you go last. Y'all want me to go first? And
yeah, go on me. I've got mine.
For me, my breakout star of the year was a no-brainer. It was Kenny Omega.
It's a good one.
I just really felt like it was his year. He goes in as the junior weight champion. Granted he lost, but he had a great match against Kushida. He turns on AJ Styles, kicks him out of the Bullet Club, and he goes from being the comedy relief to the new leader of the Bullet Club. He becomes, he participates, he wins the Intercontinental Championship. He wins the never open weight 6-man championship along with the Young Bucks. He participates in New Japan's first ever ladder match. He is the first Westerner to win the G1 Climax tournament. And now he's going into Wrestle Kingdom 11 with a championship shot. So I don't think anybody had a better year, I think, than Kenny Omega.
Not so fast, my fellow friend.
Ooh, Corsoed.
Gonna Corso you. There was somebody that had a better year than Kenny Omega, because not only did they revitalize their career, they brought attention to a dying show. That show is doing well now, and their name is household in wrestling, and that's Matt fucking Hardy.
Ooh, that's still a good one. Still a good pick. I mean, you able to defend it.
I'm not a Kenny Omega. I'm not really a Matt Hardy fan, but Matt Hardy has just almost changed wrestling, and he's everywhere. Enough that when he popped up on Ring of Honor, I marked out.
That's true. That's true. Oh, this was difficult because I only had a little bit. I was going to say Omega, but I didn't want to copy. I think Ciampa and Gargano have really had a good year this year. Like if you told me like at the end of 2015 that Ciampa and Gargano would be the NXT Tag Title champions, having 2 incredible pay-per-view matches and be on the cusp of having a fucking great match on Boom's favorite weekly TV show, the Cruiserweight Classic. It was just they had a great year this year. I'm going to give them the breakout superstars of the year.
All right, now we're going to get into some territory where now we're going to get to the nitty-gritty here.
All right.
Match of the year.
This was almost tough, but I had to go with my first choice. If there was anyone that says wrestling is dying, wrestling sucks, and no thing's good anymore, all the old stuff was better, did not watch wrestling this year. Mm-hmm. Because you can watch any promotion, and every promotion, no matter how hard it is for some people to admit it, had 5-star matches, or at least 4.5-star matches this year. Matches that are classics that you can think back on and go, oh, that was a near flawless wrestling match. There were so many to go through, and there's so many that I adored, but I had to go with my first choice. And I stand by this choice, and I will argue this point, even if I might agree with somebody else's choice. Sami Zayn versus Nakamura was one of the greatest wrestling matches I've ever seen. It wasn't just the best of the year. It's one of the greatest I've ever seen. It was that fucking good.
That made my short list. LK, what was your pick?
But I'm going to go with, I can't back out now. I said it earlier. Nakamura, Zayn was a great shout. But to me, it was their live Chris Hero versus Marty Scurll, Revolution Pro Wrestling. I think it was High Stakes 2016 in October. No, you were there. I mean, hey, if you watched it, you like it, you think it was match of the year, hey, that's great.
It was. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it was for the first time ever, like, because you know the wrestlers at the end stand there. They all stand, they sell their merch, and it was one of the very few times I've been like a little too marky, and I legit swear on my whole family's life I did this. I went up to him, I shook his hand, I said that was special to me, that meant a lot, and I'll never forget that as long as I live, because that was one of the best pro wrestling matches I've ever seen. Chris Heroes. It was unbelievable.
Did he say
anything?
I
got a photo.
Did he say anything back? Did he say anything back to you?
Oh no, he just said thank you. I appreciate it. Like, what else is he gonna say? I was just being a little mark. Like, it was just. Do you know you have that feeling in your life where you're like, life doesn't get better than this? It was just one the match ended with a pile driver off the top rope. Oh, I don't need to say anything more. Just go watch the match. Great story, great everything. Chris Hero's out of this world. Chris Hero is out of this world. Did everyone watch that? That's your homework. Dude, I don't want him to go back to NXT.
Can you watch that one online? Hero versus
you can watch every Rev Pro match online.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. I have to go check that out now. You want me to go next, Sam, or you want to go next?
Yes. No, I already said mine.
Oh, sorry. Mine was Kenny Omega versus Tetsuya Naito in the G1 Climax tournament. This was the B block. I believe this was the finals for the B block. This was whoever won this was going to the finals. These two had about a 30-minute match. It was heel on heel, and plus it's also the leaders of the two biggest factions, or heel factions in New Japan. You had Bullet Club
factions.
versus
You don't have to say heel. You can just say factions.
factions. You had Bullet Club versus Los Ingobernables de Japan. And by the way, New Japan, if you're going to book a war between those two stables, let me know, and I will tell you to shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Omega sold a leg injury. Naito play. I mean, this was and the reason I picked this one is because there was something on the line. This wasn't just a match just for the sake of having a match. There was something on the line, and these two told a great story, and it went somewhere. So that's why I had to give it my match of the year.
Fair.
All right, now we're getting into even the better parts here, and I guarantee I think we may come into agreement here. I'm going to talk about tag team of the year, of course, best duo in all of professional wrestling.
This was one of the only ones I had that was a complete 100% no-brainer.
Me too.
It was a no-brainer, and I picked the Revival.
Me too. Revival.
Yeah,
they are a Triforce, baby.
Yeah, I know there's people that are going to say the Young Bucks, but I'll be honest, I don't like the Young Bucks. And the Revival put on better matches this year and has a better gimmick.
Revival was always in the tag team title hunts. I mean, they were either the champions or in the hunt for the championship. They were the first ever two-time champions in NXT until Samoa Joe won the heavyweight championship a few months later. They had great matches with American Alpha. They had great matches with DIY. And looking back, I was just like completely blown away by their level of work, and it's all simple stuff.
No flip to the fist. I mean, it works.
I agree. We need to give the Young Bucks award, so we'll give them the Spot Monkeys of the Year award. Well done. I'm proud.
They can have it. I'll put it this way: I would rather have the Revival in the Bullet Club than the Young Bucks.
No, I think the Young Bucks suit the Bullet Club, because they're anti-authority, anti-pro wrestling, and spot fests kind of kill it.
To me, I just think they would fit better because we're gonna hurt people. Whereas Young Bucks are just too goofy for me. I've never been a fan. They are the Spot Monkeys of the year, except unless we want to throw in fucking Jack, what's his name from Lucha Underground, who I can't fucking stand.
Oh yeah, Jack. They can have that award.
They can share it. I'm gonna do backflip through the entire crowd out of it.
I'm about to do something very unprecedented here. I'm going to create my own. I'm going to create my own award, and it's going to be It's going to be called the Firing of the Year. The wrestler who got fired from any promotion, who was the worst, and I'm proud of that promotion for firing him. That man is Bull Dempsey. Bull Dempsey, you have won an award. You are the Fired Wrestler of the Year. You cunt. Unbelievable.
All right, next we're going to talk Female Wrestler of the Year.
This one was tough. I had a lot more trouble with this one than I thought I was going to. A lot more trouble.
This was really tough for me.
I
was struggling with this one.
Well, then you get to go first.
No, he said go for it, guys, because I think he's doing something. He might be masturbating. But what would you go?
This one was tough for me, and I narrowed it down to like 3 people. And it took me forever to pick one, but I eventually decided this lady has had a fantastic year. She's put on some of the best matches of the year. Her character's really good, and she just continues to impress me every time I see her, and I'm excited when I see her on TV because they've made her kind of a rarity, and that's Asuka.
That's a good one.
I really still wanted to get the sexy star, and I know that's not going to be popular with you, but I eventually went with Asuka.
That's fair enough. I mean, it's just... I just haven't seen much of her because you don't really get to see much of her on NXT because she's only on like once a month-ish.
Yeah, so and I think that's one of the things that makes her special because when I do see her, I'm more excited to see her.
Excited, yeah. That's true, and it's difficult because TNA's knockout division as well. It's TNA's knockout division. I thought you were going to go with Rosemary as your 2016.
No. That is the made-up Sammy award, which is wrestler I most want to sleep with. I thought that's a match with somebody that was from NXT, but it was in another promotion. It was in Smash, and it was a fucking amazing match. I think she's really talented, but I went with Asuka.
So I went with
my Asuka. Female of the Year. Oh, I'm sorry, I went with Sasha Banks. I'm sorry. I love her character.
I would almost
Had a
agree
great
with
year.
you if she was actually being the boss on TV. She's put on some great fucking matches this year, but I just can't get behind somebody that continuously can't fucking beat somebody else. Which I understand, like,
Yeah,
wins
that's
and
not
losses
her
don't
fault.
matter, wins and losses matter. But she hasn't been the boss on TV. She hasn't been the same character. She's just been the lady they've picked to make history with because she's a woman.
Yeah, that's true. But I just think she's had a great year anyway.
I mean, she's had a great fucking year, don't get me wrong. I'm glad no one said Charlotte, even though I think you could say Charlotte and that would be acceptable.
You could make an argument.
That would be the kayfabe. Like, if we're going off kayfabe, we would probably all pick Charlotte.
Yeah. But Asuka was the eventual, I don't want to say clear, was the eventual choice for me.
All right. And then Wrestler of the Year.
Okay, so before we get to
Change
Wrestler there,
this.
do we want to go real quick and do like the MVPs of each promotion real quick?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that.
We can just blaze through those real quick. Lucha Underground, Pentagon Jr.
I have Rey Mysterio.
That's fucking unfair. He's Rey fucking Mysterio. That's like deciding you're gonna play a game of baseball, like just pick up baseball and you pick Randy fucking Johnson as your pitcher. Like that's unfucking fair, but a completely acceptable choice. TNA, Matt fucking Hardy, even though it broke my heart not to pick EC3.
Yeah, Matt Hardy. I agree.
Who'd you say? Okay,
TNA. He said Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy. Sorry, I was sitting away from the mic.
I gotta agree with you.
WWE, AJ Styles.
That's who I had.
Roman Reigns.
Are you serious?
I was joking. I was fucking.
I was about to say, like,
my MVP's AJ Styles. My
Okay,
MVP's
yep,
AJ
so the
Styles.
Triforce. NXT, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Bobby Roode.
I picked Samoa Joe.
All three great answers. Ring of Honor, my boy Dalton Castle.
I picked Jay Lethal.
Adam Cole.
All also great answers. Last but not least, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Kenny Omega.
I chose Naito.
Good.
Okada. I love Okada.
He is the most Caucasian-looking Asian man that I've ever seen in my entire life. I love Okada.
Oh, by the way,
White.
I learned like a weird fact about Naito.
What's that?
Yeah, like how he does the
That's how they make fun of Asians in Mexico.
thing with because he was a victim of racism in Mexico because he went there, and basically they were saying, "Hey, Chino," which is Spanish for China or Chinese, even though he's Japanese. So can you see? Why don't you just open your eyes? So they started chanting, "Open your eyes, open your eyes." And so to heal him, he started doing this, and he just stuck with it. So that
Favorite goof of the year, by the way, is the one of that little kid sitting behind the two announcers going, like, that shit makes me so happy.
Oh, God, it sounds like my granddad just shouted at Naito.
All right,
Anyway.
gentlemen, here's the big bad baby award. This is, like, to me, the #1 award. Like, if these were more legitimate, this is the award you would want to have. This is the Professional Wrestler of the Year award. This one was really, really tough for me, and the answer that I have, I absolutely do not think that y'all see coming. I'll save it for last. It's really out there, and I can defend my answer. But that being said, KocoSports Professional Wrestler of the Year. Boom Booms, I'm showing you first. Who are you picking, brother?
I picked the phenomenal AJ Styles.
I expected that, truth be told. It's a great choice.
You see, I've changed mine 3 times. Okay,
So
I've
changed mine several times.
This show has changed and changed and changed. I'm going to go with what my gut instinct was, what I crossed out first, because that's fair. Because that's my actual opinion, not, talking and then talking and then talking. Okay, so Chris Hero crossed off because obviously I was just getting a bit emotional. AJ Styles crossed off because I crossed that off after. The first person I picked was Will Ospreay.
Good choice. I think that's a good choice. I think he's had a great year.
This year, the match of Ricochet, the high-profile stuff with Vader, his stuff in PWG, going to Ring of Honor, bringing Ring of Honor over to the UK, having matches in the UK that are breathtaking, always above 3 stars. He can do a heel in IPW. He can do a face. He's in New Japan. He won the Best of Super Juniors. He's in Chaos. What a great fucking... He is in Chaos.
Oh, shit.
What a great fucking year for Mr. Will Ospreay, and he is my professional wrestler of the year.
Yeah, great choice. Let me explain my choice. I had to stop and think, who do I think had the best year? Who do I think got the most out of professional wrestling? Who put the most back into professional wrestling? Who has been an ambassador? Who has been, I've been excited to see every time that I've seen them. And then I stopped and had to think, who did what they said couldn't be done? And this person essentially did what they said couldn't be done. He left the company and had a great name for himself. I picked Cody Rhodes.
Oh, wow. That's
fair. That's fair.
He did what they said couldn't be done. He left the big leagues and he went from WWE. He's now been on TNA, Ring of Honor. He's about to join the fucking Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Every match he's had at every one of those places, minus New Japan because he hadn't wrestled there yet, has been a phenomenal match. He feels comfortable with himself, and this has been his mourning for the loss of his dad. His promo skills feel real. He was amazing in Bola. Everything I've seen him in, I've been impressed with, and he is showing that you can be one of, if not the greatest professional wrestler in the world and never step foot into a WWE ring this year. Actually, I think he was in WWE ring this year, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand. That's fair. So 3 great choices there. AJ Styles, Will Ospreay, and Cody Rhodes. What a fucking lineup. I'm glad you picked AJ Styles, Boom, because otherwise I probably would have gone with AJ because I felt bad not giving AJ one.
I almost feel bad not giving to AJ too because he's had arguably one of the best years you can have. He's the only of 2 people that has held WWE, TNA, and New Japan heavyweight titles. And I mean, he's been everywhere. He's come in like a fucking hurricane and taken over that promotion and is sitting on the top of the king in less than a year. And it really took me having to think about who I think did more for wrestling to eventually pick Cody Rhodes.
It was a good shout. I'm glad you picked that because otherwise I would have thought about that. They would have been pissed off.
I hope this isn't something that I'm not trying to catch everybody out of left field here, but this is just for fun here. If we're going to talk, let's talk directly about WWE. Let's talk about the draft. Of course, they split. SmackDown went live this year. That was a big headline. I'm going to talk about the headlines here in just a minute, and we get our thoughts on 2016 and the year that was. Looking at, we got SmackDown Live, you got Raw. Of course, superstars went here and there. Who do you think benefited the most from the draft, and who do you think was hurt most by the draft?
I know who I think got hurt the most by the draft. Mm-hmm. And I'm still not sure I'm 100% decided on who benefited the most, but to me, the person that has suffered the most has been Sami Zayn. The first thing I would have done on the draft is separate him and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, because, how can you have that blow-off feud of it's their last match ever, which it wasn't. No. This is their last match ever, and keep them on the same fucking roster.
When they were saying about we'll trade him over to SmackDown, I was really hoping that was legitimate because I think he's somebody that can take on AJ for the title and be a legit heavyweight champion of SmackDown. And he's. I agree. Mind you, I kind of like the Braun Strowman program, and I'm thinking that's why he's there, but they're wasting his potential.
Okay.
Benefited the most is probably I'm going. You know
Zack
what?
Ryder and Mojo Rawley.
Probably Baron Corbin. Not the brand split. He would not have been in the main event of SmackDown tonight. No way, Jose. No way. Or The Miz.
Okay. Me, I think, far as benefited the most from the draft and the splitting, Raw and SmackDown, I think Heath Slater benefited the most.
Yeah.
Because
it's a great show.
He went from the social outcast as a jobber to Mr. Irrelevant because he didn't get picked. And so that became like a storyline, and then goes in and becomes a tag team champion. So I think I don't think that would have happened had they kept everything together on one show. And the person I think got hurt the most, I was jockeying back and forth, but I think the person who got hurt the most was Kalisto.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because
I got fucked.
Because he goes in, and remember he was the United States champion. And he splits up the Lucha Dragons. Instead of winding up on the show that is going to feature the cruiserweights, he goes over to SmackDown, and he's had nothing to do. He got hurt, and then he got absolutely squashed in the feud against Baron Corbin. I think he got hurt the most by this.
That's fair. That's fair. As far as benefited, I think I'm honestly going to say Dolph Ziggler probably benefited the most because I don't think he would have got this second wind if the.
Yeah, he's been in the championship. I mean, he was in the Intercontinental Championship picture, won the Intercontinental Championship, and now, even though he's lost it, now he's in the WWE title picture, or at least was. I mean, and it made him relevant again. So, yeah, I can see how you could come to that.
Well, gentlemen, I think that is it. Is it not?
Yeah, pretty much all the awards now. Y'all want to talk about? I can talk about briefly about some of the headlines that happened this year. And if you'll give me 1 second, let me pull my
headlines this year. Breaking news: Sting went for a shit on the left-hand corridor. Sting went for a shit on the left-hand corridor.
I don't.
News, what? Taker versus John Cena confirmed for WrestleMania 33. Breaking news: Undertaker versus John Cena.
What award gave y'all the most trouble to choose?
For me, it was best storyline.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think either rookie or wrestler of the year.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Okay.
My wrestler of the year was quite. Yeah, my wrestler of the year I changed about 4 times.
Same here. And I wrote down Cody Rhodes first because I was the first person. I was like, that's the guy. He's had the best year you can have in wrestling. Like, no AJ, no this person, no Prince. But it's like, no. I've got to go with Cody Rhodes.
It's good that we have this choice, like the amount of choice that we have, because normally it's like, oh, it's him. No, it's good having a choice like that.
Yeah, and I think there's other people. I think you easily could have said Kyle O'Reilly. I think would have been a great choice. I think you could have said Naito. I think Naito would have been a great choice. And Kevin Owens. I mean, honestly, you probably couldn't make an excuse for Roman Reigns. I think Shocker of the year, I almost gave to Kevin Owens winning the belt. Because I was watching that by myself at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I marked out so goddamn hard, and I'm just screaming, fight, Owens, fight, at the top of my fucking lungs in my boxers in my living room, and I lost my shit.
There you go. All right, as far as like some headlines here, and again, this is no particular order. I've already talked about this one here. Daniel Bryan, his retirement. I think that was a big headline. Also, another headline, WWE rating New Japan's talent roster. They picked up 4 big gets. They got Styles, they got Gallows, Anderson, and Nakamura all in one fell swoop.
I think Nakamura's another person you could say was Wrestler of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Naito, he won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship from Okada.
And then probably lost it again because it's easy to get the belt back when your manager is the fucking booker.
Yeah, I was about to say, I put a lot of that on nepotism.
I honestly think it is. Even though I think the world of Okada, I think he's fucking phenomenal. But when your manager is the booker, it's you can get the belt whenever you want.
Backing you, yeah. I thought that was.
Do you think Kenny Omega is going to win?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing: if there's any,
He almost has to, doesn't he?
Well, here's the thing: if there's any, no, because they're New Japan, like Wrestle Kingdom, is like the polar opposite of WrestleMania. Because usually at WrestleMania, I would say maybe 9 times
80%.
Yeah, about 80% of the time, the challenger is going to walk away the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But Wrestle Kingdom, it's the exact opposite. Usually, more times than not, the champion successfully retains.
True, but I mean, they've made a big deal that he's the first Gaijin to win the G1 Climax.
Exactly. I mean, they could get that there now. But here's another thing: it also depends on what the scuttlebutt is, because there's talks that WWE's interested in Omega, and because remember he won't go.
He won't go. I read an article today on whatever fucking site it was about.
Remember they took the they put the junior weight tag team championships on Roppongi Vice. They got it off Matt Bourne and Ricochet because there was talks that I think it was Ricochet was in talks with WWE, so they got the belts off of them immediately. And because if there's, not that they're gonna go, but if there's any inkling that he's in talks with WWE or WWE's interested, and he's gonna go, New Japan won't put the belt on him.
Sure.
Kenny Omega lives in Japan. Kenny Omega lives in Japan. It would cost him more to go over to WWE than it probably would to, because he would have to find a new place, a new home, bring his family and friends. I think he's just better off.
Yeah.
And he's worked that long, and if they gave him the G1, they're pretty confident he's going to stay. Plus, I read an interview today that he's saying it's all well and good, these indie guys going over there and getting that one last paycheck, but you're kind of killing the industry because WWE's just raiding everywhere, and it's true.
When you have the checkbook to do it. I don't blame anybody that goes from the indies to WWE because if you have the money to do it, why not?
You.
Exactly. It's stupid. Like if I if all of a sudden like Walmart came up to me and saw the position I was in, I was like, hey, you know, we're the big bad evil guys, but we're going to offer you, you know, $30,000 more a year. Guess what? Sayonara, motherfuckers, I'm gone. And kind of, I have a really unpopular opinion, Kenny Omega. I really hope he does beat Okada for the belt, but I do not like Kenny Omega. I'm not a fan.
No, that's fine. I mean, hell, Dave Koco hates Kenny Omega.
That's true, but I think Dave Koco hates anybody that isn't Okada.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
let's
be honest. We love you, Dave.
I can picture Dave right now watching, just like rocking back and forth with his Okada action figure in one hand, his Okada Rainmaker hairnet, watching with Okada Rainmaker poster on his wall, just rocking back and forth.
He's just like cuddled up to his Okada waifu pillow that's life size. Just, Okada.
Let's see, SmackDown going live. I think that was another major headline for 2016.
That was a big one.
That was a big one.
Yeah. They retired the Divas Championship and created the Women's Championship. Or they stopped referring to the female talent as diva and started referring to them as women. I think that was a big deal. And that was a huge deal. That was a big deal for me, in particular. You know, just 'cause I'm trying to raise my son, right? I'm trying to prove him that people aren't different. And then I have a niece that got into wrestling because of me. And then as I was watching it with her, I got to show her, like, listen, this is a big deal. And she understood it. She understood, like, oh, they're just wrestlers like everybody else.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not just fucking pretty things to put in a ring and people look at. And, you know, that's something I can do. So even though Bayley's not my favorite female wrestler, I think the fucking world of Bayley because my niece can see that and go, this is something I could do if I wanted to do it. Or I could do anything I really wanted to do. So I'm all about, and I want to say women empowerment. And I don't want to say fucking feminism by any means. I'm all for equality in any form. And we will say women empowerment because I love being able to do that for my nieces and my son, just to be able to say, this world is anything that you can make it to be. Look, this fucking historically sexist company has made this huge leap forward. Huge leap forward.
Bless you, Vince. You're a great guy.
Samoa Joe captured the NXT Championship at a house show.
That was fun. I remember me and Dave were live when that happened. And we both got so pissed off.
Let's see, Rey Mysterio, he debuted on Lucha Underground this year.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was a big deal.
I think Finn Balor or somebody else you could probably say had Wrestler of the Year, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Will Ospreay and Ricochet, their match at, I think it was the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. That match got a lot of buzz. It got to the point where New Japan got tired of fighting off the pirates, so they put the match up there for free.
Insanity. It was so good they had a fucking Vader Will Ospreay match out of it. Fucking Vader.
Yeah, who I don't think's wrestled in forever.
No, he wrestles on the independents regularly. Not like 2 or 3 matches a week. I mean, like maybe once or twice a month. I mean, here's another thing. Even though he's been told he's got maybe 2 years left to live, he's still working out and he's still taking bookings.
Wow.
Of course he would. It's money. If he doesn't do that, he won't make any money. And I don't know how the American system works, but if you're not working and not making any money, you can't pay those damn bills. And if you can't pay the damn bills, you're out the house. And if you're out the house, you're homeless. And you don't want your last 2 years of your life homeless.
That's pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, give or take.
Again, I just imagine that British poor just look like fucking Victorian age orphans. Like, please, I can have some more scrum paper. I don't know why I have this super stereotypical view of England. But it just makes me laugh, and I guess that's why I keep it up.
It's like there is like people in this country who don't work and claim money.
Oh, yeah,
so I don't know if it's like that in America.
Man. Oh yeah, it's anywhere you go. Anywhere you go.
That grinds my gears more than this is awesome.
But that is another show for another day, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
we had the deletion, which revived TNA. Believe me, that revived TNA. I mean, that was 2 things with TNA. You're either talking about the deletion with the Hardys, or you're talking about the backstage drama involving Dixie Carter and Billy Corgan.
Which I think is the biggest issue with TNA still, is that a lot of the backstage stuff outshadows, honestly, the pretty good show they're putting into the ring. But that deletion shit blew up. You get like, 3 or 4 you get 3, I think, deletion segments, and then you get 1 entire deletion episode, which, if you have not seen, you either love it or you fucking hate it, and both of them are great answers, but it is total goddamn insanity. Me and LK fucking love total nonstop deletion.
That was brilliant. Check the review out if you haven't already.
Yes, please do, because, spoiler, a full-grown man challenges a 1-year-old infant to a no-holds-bar match. And it's sanctioned. There's a ref in there.
The licensed official.
Let's do a couple more, and then I got to call it a night, ladies.
I'm gonna try to zip through these.
Yeah, me too. I'm battered.
Also, we saw like alliances made. You know, Ring of Honor, New Japan, they signed a deal.
And CMLL. People typically forget CMLL is part of that as well.
Evolve in WWE. Then also the creation of the Go Fight Live, so you can see more an alternative to the WWE network. You mean whoa, you mean Flow Slam, yeah? You mean Flow Slam? Flow Slam, sorry. What the hell was that? Sorry.
Yeah, you Go Fight Live was the old one. Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, Flow Slam's amazing. Literally, the shows I review that aren't WWE are either from obviously TNA, New Japan, blah, blah, blah. But if it's indie, like IPW was on Flow Slam, and I watched it on Flow Slam. WXW from Germany's on Flow Slam. Evolve's on Flow Slam. W's on Flow Slam. Beyond Wrestling's on Flow Slam. Dude, just get fucking Flow Slam. It's out of this world. Brilliant.
If Ring of Honor and TNA end up on Flow Slam, I'm going to have to get it. I just watch so much of his, it's hard for me to get on it.
Yeah, it's just next. We've already talked about this. Kenny Omega winning the G1.
I forgot that he was the first Gaijin to win it.
Yep. He's not the first one to make it to the finals, though.
Carl Anderson made it to the finals, did he not?
Yep. Carl Anderson made it to the finals, and Rick Rude made it to the finals. But
Rick Rude?
Yeah, this is way back. That's like 92.
Wow.
Cody Rhodes, he left the WWE and went out and did his own thing.
My boy, my wrestler here. And by the way, he won like 2 championships now.
Yeah, he's been like he's like a champion with Global Force Wrestling.
And another one I've never heard. Maybe Wrestle Pro.
Nah, I think isn't it that What Culture gimmick?
Yeah.
I think that's over in your neck of the woods. What Culture. He wrestled with TNA. He wrestled Ring of Honor. He's wrestling New Japan now. He's doing it all.
Yeah, I mean, I picked him for a very specific reason.
And here's another thing, and this is a lot. I can't believe this didn't get that much press, but remember, 2016 has been like the Jason Voorhees of years. It's just been, butchering people left and right. Yeah. It's like a horror movie, man. Anybody can die at any moment. But despite all that, we really didn't have that many deaths. I say that now. There's still a few,
touch wood. Fucking everyone touch wood. Everyone touch wood, not their penis. Everyone touch wood.
I'm touching it.
Touched it.
Okay.
Not my penis, the wood.
Yeah, but you had a couple of notable deaths. Of course, you had the death of Chyna and the death of Mr. Fuji.
That's true. We did lose Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, we lost 2.
But Dream died in 2015, didn't he?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, he was just...
Okay. Didn't we lose...
So we've gotten away with it, really.
We lost Hayabusa this year, didn't we?
Yes, Hayabusa.
There was a few more, and I apologize if we don't remember them, but, I mean, there was only a handful, Fortunately, excuse me.
Compared to the year before, we got off lightly.
I'm going to make a really bold statement. I think 2016 might be one of the best years collectively in wrestling that I've been around for in a long time. There's so much great stuff that happened. It's so visible. There's so many places to go and watch it that are quote alternatives that I don't even consider them alternatives anymore. They're places you can just go to watch wrestling, and I think that's great.
I agree.
And and I think 2017 is going to be better. I mean, the one thing that knowing ahead, what gives me hope is that New Japan has announced they're pretty much going to make a run towards the U.S. market this year. They've already said that they're planning on doing qualifying matches for the G1 Climax tournament in California.
That's nice.
Okay, that's
we've
good.
got that.
That's really good.
We've got the United Kingdom tournament that's coming up. I mean, there's a lot that's going to be going on.
Possible women's tournament.
Oh, really? Is that in the talks as well?
That's still
like the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Cruiserweight Classic, but with women.
Cool. I'd dig that. I love these tournaments. This tournament setting. I hope they do more of them. I just hope they don't flood it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Booms, show them why you're best salesman in the business.
Well, I want to tell everybody thank you for joining us here, and be sure to check us out at KocoSports.com, KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. You can also like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Of course, we're live almost every day with some kind of review, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Lucha Underground, TNA, Ring of Honor, Evolve, any little independent promotions in between, we've got you covered. So be sure to check us out. And guys, y'all want to say anything here about any parting shots for 2016?
They
did well, bless them. They tried.
Who are we talking about? I genuinely completely checked out. If you couldn't tell.
The year that I'm too tired to fucking say anything else.
2016 was the weirdest fucking year because everyone else I know, everyone else on my Facebook, all my friends, all that jazz, were like, "Oh, 2016 was the worst year ever." Which, mind you, we did lose a lot of celebrities. It meant a lot to a lot of people. But like, oh, this happened. 2016 is the best year I've ever had in my entire life. Period.
Yeah, me too. My 2016 is in like my personal 2016. I've had a fucking great time. It's been a great year.
It's been a fucking phenomenal year. Like, besides getting the ability to come on here and do this with y'all, but y'all don't understand how much I genuinely do love doing this. It's like, I'm a dad. My son's getting bigger and smarter, and he's a jackass, and I've got a great job, and everything's going pretty good. So I hope 2016 was as kind to all of you as it was to me.
Agreed. Booms, any last words before we depart?
Well, hopefully Dave Koco will come back in 2017. We'll get everything squared away. But thanks.
I've heard if you say his name 3 times in a mirror, that he'll show up and talk about Okada.
Hey, hopefully there's going to be a lot of good things coming up in 2017. So thanks for watching us this past year. We hope you stick with us and bring more friends with you. So God bless, and the boom just went bang, and I am out.